Welcome in to Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, the only podcast on the Marshland Media Empire conglomeration experience, breaking down episode by episode, beat by beat, and sweat by sweat. Episodes of Lucha Underground. We did it. We're all the way up to season 3, episode 36, 101.
Oh!
Rise of the Ring Announcer. And rising to meet you is myself, Sean. How you doing? As well as James.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Are you mirroring me?
I'm doing well. Are you mirroring? I'm kidding. No. I was just
hold on.
If you were saying, how are you to the audience, it'd be rude if I didn't as well.
Yeah, but that's kind of, I like that. Like, I'm the good cop, and you're not even, you didn't even pass the cop exam. You're Batman. I'm Commissioner Gordon, and you're the Batman. So, like, you get to be a little rude to the audience. I'm just like, hey, do you want a cup of tea? And then you break a nose or something.
Nah, I just want to be pre-Jason Todd dying Batman. Because you want to know the thing about fucking Batman is he never actually learns from his lessons except at the end of the arc. But then they're like, well, if he's a good dad now, if he's open to teamwork in a successful way, whoa, how are we going to have him in the future be not open to teamwork in a successful? I think the only time he's open for it is in the Scooby-Doo Batman Mysteries.
Okay.
Because you kind of have to be. There's a dog talking to you. You got to be like, yeah, you want to know what? This is my life now. I hang out with a group of 18-year-olds and an old dog.
And I always conflate the Scooby-Doo Batman, because it's the same actor and same actors, with the Adam West, that sort of 60s goofy camp Batman.
Okay, so what I'm thinking of, there is a comic book called the Scooby-Doo Batman Mysteries, and within that, it feels more like what they're doing with the Batman animated series, the original animated series, or the animated series we grew up. There is
the
a
90s
comic,
one, the Kevin Conroy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a comic book continuation.
Wait, the Kevin Conroy was...
Well, no, he never voiced this, but like technically, yes, it's that. It is that look of Batman. So there's a continuation of that animated series in comic book form. It's been going on for a very long time with hiatuses in the middle. The style looks more like it's from that continuity. So I'm thinking of like Kevin Conroy, and I'm pretty sure Mask of Phantasm might show up hanging out with Scooby-Doo. So guys, check this out. I think it's Shally Fish, I believe, writes it. He's a PhD of education, and he writes comic books as well.
Amazing. It's wowzer bowsers. Huh. Because you said it. You first said it, and I'm just like, oh, cool, the Kevin Conroy Batman with Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And again, this is a comic book, but just that. So I'm upset. Obviously, rest in peace, Kevin Conroy, one of the finest voices to ever grace our ears, and the best Batman.
Yeah.
But like, how did we not get that crossover just once?
We have gotten, why can I not think of his name? He was on the Drew Carey show and now voices Batman.
Wait, what? Oh, is it the guy who plays Oswald in the Drew Carey show? Diedrich Baker, yeah. He's Diedrich Baker, I feel like, yes.
He rocks as Batman.
Was he was the Brave and the Bold.
Yes.
Batman.
And I think the Batman, possibly.
Possibly, I think you're right. Brave and the Bold would have been a great place to bring in Scooby-Doo.
Oh, no, there is the Brave and the Bold, the Batman. There's the Brave and the Bold meets Scooby-Doo. There is a movie.
Yes.
So you should go watch that on Max right now, guys.
Okay, I don't want to pay for Max, so I will pirate it.
We'll come over and, watch it on Max.
And we'll pirate it together.
No, well, technically we are using someone else's password.
All right, hell yeah. That's all I'm looking for. Well, actually, that's one thing I'm looking for. The other thing I'm looking for is some sweet, sweet Lucha Libre, which can be found.
We were both going to make the same joke, I think.
We were so excited for this transition. Joke, excuse me. I've never been more serious about a transition in my life.
Which you can watch right now legally, maybe on Amazon or elsewhere.
Yeah. Pretty soon on the WWE Network or Peacock, which is so weird to me.
Wait,
we talked about the AAA purchase, right?
Wait, huh?
WWE purchased AAA.
I was thinking AEW. I was like, wait, they fucking purchased AEW as well? That's gotta be a monopoly. How would the government allow that? Oh, maybe because McMahon's in the department. Yeah. But yes, we talked about that. However, why would it be on Peacock?
I mean, it might be running. It'll probably run out by the time. I don't understand how contracts work. But like, because Peacock has like a deal with WWE, like you can still I'm still watching the pay-per-views on my mommy's Peacock account.
Oh.
While she watches episodes of Monk, I watch WrestleMania.
I thought they switched over just everything to Netflix.
I think it's going to be a transition. Like, okay. I feel like you can watch, last time I checked, you can watch the pay-per-views on Netflix if you're in Europe or have some sort of European VPN.
Oh, okay.
And I want to say Raw is on, like the TV shows, or at least Monday Night Raw is on Netflix. I don't know if SmackDown got there yet.
Oh, hey guys, every night we're hitting it Raw, okay?
Oh, okay.
You want to know how everyone do this? This is I'm surprised. Mm-hmm. You know how Trump's trying to be like, oh, we need more babies. He should start saying, because he loves the McMahon family, hey guys, Monday Night Raw, if you have sex on Monday, just hit a Raw.
We had such a good transition to get into the episode, and now we're here.
Yeah, we're still an egg. We're not transitioning yet. We are an egg, as everyone calls me. Guys, I'm not going to do it, all right? Because what if I look ugly when I transition? Also, you know me, it takes way too much time and way too much money. Those are things, If those are resources I need to do something, just the likelihood plummets, okay?
I mean, and this probably isn't the best platform to discuss your sexuality and gender. Just for the sake of like, this is probably a personal conversation that we can,
What, do you want to know what? No, it's not, because the first time I ever said it out loud, that and the thing that I always bleep out, same exact episode of Mostly Speakin Sentai with Nick Foster called Did You Say Cucked? And go listen to that episode, all right? Everyone go right now. It's probably like episode 120.
Great. And I love all of you, transitioning or not, and we're going to talk about Lucha Underground today.
We're going to transition into discussing Lucha Underground Season 3, Episode 36, entitled Ring Announcer Rising.
Close enough. Rise of the Ring Announcer. With plenty of extra lens flare. I think that's the first thing we need to talk about today, is the cinematography was beautiful.
I wrote down at 10:55 and I sent you the screenshot. I will post it online. A cinematic lens flare of greatness when Tejano's in the ring. It's so rad.
Oh my gosh. Like straight up glamour shot. Like I will have to add that as an attachment when I start sharing the blue ski of this episode. Cause and Lucha Underground always looks great.
Yeah.
That's something. Yeah.
It's very much when filmmakers are like, oh, we're going to make a wrestling movie. You always get one of those lens flares when it's like shooting up from the floor, not in the ring, and it shines up towards the wrestler as they're like about to do something cool. Think The Wrestler. The poster, I think there's a cinematic lens flare in that.
Oh my God. Well, and not just the cinematic lens flare, which we love a lens flare, okay? We love a jeans flare. Bring back the bell bottoms. We love a lens flare. Well, we love a car flare, but that's because we love car safety.
You want to know what kind of flare I hate?
Rick?
Yeah, I hate a Ric Flair. That dude sucks.
Fuck that guy. You gave me his book, and now I have to read him on stream.
Oh, shit, dude. Actually, I'm not sorry. I want people to think you support a bad wrestler. Wait, yeah. Why? I'm not even talking about him being a monster of a man. No, he just isn't good at wrestling.
Wait, that's the one thing you can't say about him. He's very good at wrestling.
No, he's slow. He just screams the same thing over again. Macho Man would have wrecked his house if he had the chance.
They did wrestle, and it was some of the best matches either of them put together. This is a weird recommendation, but if you can get over, if you're a wrestling fan at this point, you kind of know Ric Flair is the worst, but also one of the best, and you haven't gone and watched the old like early 90s Macho Man and Ric Flair stuff when Rick was in the WWF, it holds up to this day. It's beautiful.
Macho Man could have wrestled a 3-legged dog and it would have been the greatest match ever, okay?
You've only watched Old Man Ric Flair, which I don't think is totally fair.
No, I've seen like 80s Ric Flair.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He's like, oh, hey guys, look at my fancy boa or whatever. And it's like, shut up, guys, I'm you idiot.
Why is Ric Flair being played by Owen Wilson in your mind? Hey guys, it's me, Ric Flair. Woo. What's up with that? Wow. Woo. Wait, hold on. I got to turn a woo into a wow.
Maybe we do yeah, that is good. We do a stream of like, Ric Flair's greatest matches, and I'll rank them. And I'll be confident. Wow. Unless he's with a great wrestler, I'll be like, that wrestler made this good. Then you want to know what? Let's look at Ric Flair's matches with just like middling to just straight up jobbers and wrestlers and see how well he does. See if he's able to elevate the matches. He has,
I guess I've never gone down categorically, but I feel like that's actually one of the things he is known for is elevating anyone he's in the ring with.
I'm going to make this like when I had a Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast, I was like, yeah, this is why this show is not good. And eventually the host was like, I've come to the conclusion, this show's not good. I still love it, but it is not good.
Yeah, great. I look forward to being beaten down by you psychologically.
No, not
further
psychologically.
Than I already have been.
Statistically.
What does that mean statistically?
Educationally.
This is art. How are you going to This is a wrestling podcast about Lucha Underground, which we will get to season 3, episode 36. There are no statistics in art. There are statistics in consumerism and the commercialization of art, but it's fucking art, bro. It's like, does that headlock make you feel something? Does it remind you of the love you have for mankind, or it doesn't? And yes, headlocks can remind you of the love I have for mankind. Not just the wrestler, but also humanity.
Oh, I was going to say, because he did a lot of headlocks.
He did do a lot of headlocks. Yeah.
Which I saw him. I saw him, he was sitting at a booth.
You did. I'm so jealous you saw him in the booth.
Nicole was like, who's that person dressed up as? Oh, yeah, Mick Foley.
Who was that person dressed up as Mick Foley? Oh, it's Mick Foley. He does dress like that. It's great. It's the other thing I love when you were like, because did we talk about the con?
I think a little bit, but not in a full scope.
One of the things I love when you text me like, and we did talk about like Orange Cassidy walking around just kind of like, and sad. The only thing the only thing I wanted to add last time was like, it's just like walking around in his jeans and his jacket. And I'm like, that's the coolest thing about being Orange Cassidy is that even like you show up in full gear and it's like, oh no, and this con is poorly attended. I don't have a huge table. I'm Orange Cassidy though. I'm just wearing jeans and a jean jacket. I'm chill as fuck. It's like, yeah, man. That's the coolest part. That's setting yourself up for success, To me, that's a nightmare. Jeans on my skin feel gross. Two things. I only wear jeans, so that's just, that's fair. That's the difference of opinions. And the other thing is, I do think they're like stretchy jeans. Like they're sort of male jeggings, like baggy jeggings. Which like, would you rock jeggings? Jeggings, yeah, because they're not jean material. But I want that ass in jean material, brother. Hey, plugs. Speaking of that ass, how about you sit that ass down and tune in to episode 36 of season 3, Rise of the Ring Announcer. I've given you so many transitions. If we don't start talking about wrestling right now, I will scream. I was motioning, I said Rise of the Ring Announcer. I was mouthing that for you. Yeah, but I forgot we actually did start talking about this, and then we somehow got off track again, and I'm just scared. James, you've psychologically broken me down, and I don't think Ric Flair is a good wrestler anymore, but now I think he's a good person, which is a problem. I know is a problem. I'm fine with that. Who cares? As long as you admit he's a shit wrestler. Wait, no. It's more important we acknowledge he's a bad person. He did one thing wrong, okay? He showed his dick to someone, maybe. Definitively, multiple times against their will. Oh, multiple times. I was just saying, I didn't remember if he was like masturbating underneath his pants or if he like whipped it out. And you know what? I don't have proof that it's been multiple people. We know about the plane ride from hell. I can also think of it looked consensual, but the Instagram photo he shared or someone shared of him going down on a stewardess on a plane ride. Which, like, even if, like, she's like, yeah, old man Ric Flair, lick my cooter. Like, there's other people on the plane that are probably just like, I'm just trying to enjoy my peanuts right now.
Unless they're all like Sean saying like, oh yeah, man, Ric Flair's the greatest. I want to see him go down on a stewardess. Oh.
Into this.
There's climate control. There's climate control on airplanes. Most humid flight of them all.
Wow. That was worth it. Thank you.
Season 3, episode 36, Lucha
Jesus
Underground.
Christ. I came into this episode understanding Ric Flair is a bad person, but a good wrestler. Now I'm just ruined. This is a Yogi Bear podcast now. Episode 36, Season 3, Rise of Yogi Bear. To recap what's been going on, because we are literally 1 week away from Ultima Lucha Tres.
Yeah, it's been
the big season finale of this televised wrestling product. So the 7 Aztec medallions have been won for the Gift of the Gods title. Penta has broken everyone's arm except for Tejano's. Marty is a creep. He wants Phoenix's mask, so Phoenix, like a normal person, wants Marty's hair. Hair versus mask. It's gonna be crazy. We open up this episode in the temple gym as Phoenix is training/sparring with the ring announcer/girlfriend, Melissa Santos, for their tag team match against Marty and Mariposa tonight.
Oh man, you know who's winning. The freaking Phoenix and Melissa.
Yeah, clearly. Melissa taps out Phoenix with an armbar. Phoenix says, good, again, and they run it back. The second time, Phoenix counters with a roll-up. Melissa says, again. The third time, because that's what training's all about. Repetition, baby. It's why the first couple episodes of this podcast were so bad, but now they're listenable. Repetition, baby.
What are you talking about? No, the repetition we had was on 2 tickets to Paradise over on Mostly Speakin Sentai. We had a lot of experience. Then we had all of shuffling the deck. Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling started off great right off the bat.
No, it was good. I feel nervous. Hey, quick tangent. I do feel nervous because this is the podcast I took the lead on. And I'm like, I'm self-conscious. So thank you.
I got to teach you how to edit so you can fully take the lead on this show.
That's true. But we don't have the time. And I'm already on to my next bullet point. The third time, Melissa goes for that armbar. Phoenix goes for the roll-up. Melissa counters. She ends up on top and gets real smoochy.
Oh, dang.
If you're looking for romance in your wrestling, this might be the episode.
Because there's a lot of kissing in this episode.
There's a lot of kissing, and it's hot.
Like, specifically one kissing, okay? Very hot and sexy.
But yeah, I think, again, this show coming from like television producers and like film directors, right? Robert Rodriguez behind. He's not directing episodes, but he is the creator and owner of the network. It is filmed beautifully. The way she ends up on top of him, leans in for the kiss. And that's the most romantic part of the kiss, is that lean in. That's where all that juicy tension is. And so she leans in and she says, I want to see you without your mask.
Oh, damn.
And Phoenix, he's horned up, but ever the luchador does not fall for this sexy trick and throws her off.
Because it's not Monday Night Raw, you can't go in Raw, baby. You need the mask on.
All right. You ruined that pun by equating it to Donald Trump. I want you to understand that.
Oh, well, yeah. Who cares? He wants people. Guys, I got my vasectomy reversed just for that $5,000 credit.
God,
It now shoots out my booty.
That's the thing they don't tell you when you go in to get your vasectomy reversed. It'll work again, but it's coming out your booty.
It's been reversed.
Yes, of course. The counter. The old switcheroo backside cum shots. Also, it was not a sexy trick. When I saw it, I thought she was trying to sexy trick to get another armbar in. No, she's actually really upset that Phoenix does not want her to take the mask off. And he has to explain that before his mask, he was nobody. But when he puts it on, he becomes the Phoenix, reborn from his old life. And mask or no mask, he's still Phoenix to Melissa. Phoenix still protests, but without my mask, I'll lose everything. Melissa counters, well, you won't lose me. Aww. Melissa walks away, and again, just the cinematography of romance. Melissa walks away, Phoenix grabs her arm, spins her around, but Melissa grapples her way into dipping Phoenix, and she gets that smooch, baby.
Oh yeah, this is a goddamn soap opera now.
This is a soap opera. Wrestling is Degrassi. I firmly believe that.
I would say General Hospital, you know?
Give me General Hospital.
Or
I saw
Gotham.
something recently that is Gotham a soap opera? Or
Yeah.
Batman is a soap opera.
You have to watch the later season, Sean. Start coming over. We'll watch them with you. But I am pondering, what if Melissa is going to sabotage the hair versus mask match just so she can see him without a mask?
Oh, here's the thing. I love this. Like, I like how this was filmed and created. I don't like Melissa in this. If she feels kind of like mask is culture, mask is important. Like, it's kind of messed up for you to be, I get if you want to like see him without his mask. And he even said in the parking lot, like, hey, you know, while I'm in the ring, absolutely not. But like outside of the ring, he's confirmed if they fool around, he will take the mask off. Just like not while they're wrestling. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what the fuck, Melissa? Let him. She's like the WWE or WCW in the late 90s, just like they would keep hiring all these luchadors and then they would unmask them. And it's like, no, you hired them because they were masked wrestlers. Let them, what the fuck are you doing? Melissa is a McMahon, and I think that's the secret. Melissa is a secret McMahon. She's the one who lured all the wrestlers we lost to WWE. She's the one who took away Santos Escobar. She's why we don't have a good conclusion to the triad, because now Io Sky and Kairi Sane is over there. Melissa's a double agent.
I don't think that, but to the character Melissa Santos, just because what if she listens and she's like, I'm not a McMahon, guys. Don't say that. That's just that is an insult to say to someone. So
yeah.
To the character Melissa Santos, this is what I would say is like, as somewhat, Nicole would not take off her wig when we started dating, but as we got further and further, I was able to. To me, this is saucy, but to anyone else is like, what? Why is he like apprehensive to say this? Like, I was able to like get my hand a little bit underneath the wig, just little by little, saucy. And then it just got. It's one of the hottest things ever, guys. So it's just think about like getting your fingers underneath that mask, feeling his bald head, you know, a little bit of stubble. It's gonna be like the flight that Ric Flair was on, eating out that stewardess. Humid.
Ooh, I'm so upset I told you that. It's intimate. That sounds saucy to me. And I think if people understand true sauciness, right? Like and maybe we're all wired a little differently, I guess. Some of us are a lot more like, oh, titties and genitalia. Yes. And there's a spectrum between like, you know, the very cold, hard, the statistical facts of sauciness and the contextual, the sort of what is saucy to us. And I think a lot of that, it is intimacy. Whatever intimacy looks like between two people or two or more people, like that's real sauciness. And it's going to be different to time to time to time. Some people's sauciness is just like sitting down and like, I know you don't like this movie, but you know how much I love it. You're not going to be a douchebag about it. You're going to actually experience this with me, even though maybe not that you don't like the movie, but this isn't a genre you participate in. But like you agree to step in and like really be there. That's very intimate. That's saucy. You just, hey, you know I had a long day, so you cooked dinner for me, even though it was my turn to cook dinner. But you just kind of could read that I needed some help today. That's saucy. Like intimacy, whatever that looks like, that's saucy, baby. But also intimacy requires a lot of trust. And if your partner's not there yet, Melissa, don't go ripping off his mask like some kind of rudo. You can't force sauciness.
And to the Italians, intimacy is mananana sauce.
Hold on.
Because it's saucy, you know?
You mean marinara?
Paschetti and mananana, you ever eaten that, you know?
We go to the desk. We are 1 week away from Ultima Lucha Trace, but tonight we've got tag match between Melissa and Phoenix versus Marty and Mariposa, the Gift of the Gods 7-way, and another match that we're going to open up with. But because Melissa is wrestling tonight, we have to go to the ring with our guest ring announcer, Famous B, with guest timekeeper, the beautiful Brenda.
Which I'll say, Famous B last season, yes, but Famous B's current character as the announcer,
double yes.
I would, or maybe it's just because this team wasn't there. I think the White Rabbit tribe would have been the greatest ring announcers today.
Maybe they're also like, Yes. Yes, and I guess I'm yes-butting. I'm sorry.
Actually, I think this is what you're going to say is the entire crowd wouldn't be able to hear them because even though it looks like a microphone, there is no like amplification device within the carrot. Yeah.
Yeah, they refuse to use a microphone that is not a carrot, and it's just a carrot. No, I think my only thing is that Famous B is an established character. The Rabbit Tribe. I think there's a reason they haven't talked a lot. Like they do a lot. They have a lot of segments backstage and there's presence to them, but they get away with doing a lot of nonverbal things. And I think that's wise, especially because they are a newer team. We are still establishing them. So I think for this time period in Lucha Underground, I think Famous B is the obvious choice. He is an established character who specifically talks a lot, and he gets to push forward some story stuff in this first match.
Yeah. And it does set up, a match at Ultima Lucha, which I'm very excited for. Yes. Well, real quick, you can just move on after I say it. This popped in my head. Maybe it's a thing. Nonverbal diarrhea. I don't know what that means, but it could mean something. I have a case of nonverbal diarrhea.
That's just diarrhea. Nonverbal diarrhea is just diarrhea.
Well, picture this.
That's normal diarrhea.
Completely silent while having diarrhea. I don't think anyone's really done it.
Are you soliloquying? Are you just to be or not to be? That is the ultimate question? No. You're just sitting there present. I'm not talking through my diarrhea.
No, it's like there's noises being made from your mouth that are verbal.
It has to be.
That's communicating that I have diarrhea, but nonverbal diarrhea, it's just like, in and out, I guess. Monday Night Raw, in and out, baby.
So the first match of the card, Dante Fox. It's Dante Fox versus Tejano.
Woo!
Striker and Vampiro argue over who first said the hybrid style that Fox brings is going to revolutionize the industry. Also unrelated, and I think we might have said something like this, but I saw someone on Threads call Fox, it's like if Spider-Man kept wrestling, and I couldn't agree more. It's so cool. Fox is always exciting to watch.
Just both of these. This is why Lucha Underground is better than other wrestling promotions, is they will have two just absolute titans go up against each other, and anyone could win. You don't care because you're like, wow. And it's not even just, I don't care who wins. In the match, I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah, Tejano's gonna win. But then Fox starts getting in, and I'm like, oh fuck, no, yeah, hell yeah, Fox is gonna win. It just is a constant rotation of excitement of who's going to win, and that's what Lucha Underground is to me.
Yeah, and I think especially with this match, because they have such different styles, like Fox really does wrestle like a Spider-Man, and Tejano, I'm trying to think what would be the comics equivalent.
Hulk?
Yogi Bear.
No.
Because he's because he's so heavy-handed, not Yogi Bear, but I was thinking Tombstone, I think is the Spider-Man villain I'm thinking of.
Or if you want to go Hanna-Barbera, who's a cowboy? Quick Draw McGraw, baby.
I guess you could say Quick Draw McGraw. Quick Draw McGraw would be Jeff Jarrett because of the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that I have a serious answer for that.
Yeah.
I hate that I have an actually.
Also, it's not the first time you've said it on a podcast. That's the thing you should hate about that. Is like, well, I know Quick Draw McGraw because, he's Jeff Jarrett.
He's actually a wee-woo Jeff Jarrett. But the heavy-handed, the very, most of Tejano's offense are, punches and lariats. And sometimes punch-kick gets thrown around they don't really do anything. They just do punch and kick. Tejano makes that shit work so good. He has his suplexes. He has, some real hard strikes. But sometimes it's just a really nasty right hand. And that going against Spider-Man it's a good matchup of styles. And I think that's one of those things that keeps me interested in these styles are so different that either one can win at any moment. Tejano, the man who, according to Famous B, because Famous B is reading the ring announcements, remember, should be hailing from Famous Incorporated Agency. The man who Famous B, personally saved from having a broken arm, and the man who hopes to see the light become my client. Famous B might be a little biased in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, I know, you want to know, he's keeping it cool. There's no collusion whatsoever in any of this match.
He's so... I guess we'll get into it. Famous B he wants to collude with Tejano so badly, but he's so not good at it.
Yeah.
Because Tejano doesn't remember any of the stuff that Famous B just said. He gets into the ring and he just remembers that the last time he saw Famous B, he cost him his match against Penta in the Cueto Cup.
Yeah.
So he gets immediately into his face like, you are a piece of shit, and I need to remind you how much of a piece of shit you actually are.
Yeah.
And this gives Dante Fox an opportunity to jump him from behind. So Fox goes up on top. He jumps him from behind. He keeps him down. And it's Tejano can get back into it because of this really hard-nosed style. Like, all Tejano needs is a couple nasty lariats, and he's back into it. At some point during the match, Killshot, the former CO, wrestling is soap opera, the former commanding officer of Dante Fox, now turned nemesis. He arrives. He perches above the balcony to watch the match. And it does go back and forth consistently. Mm-hmm. I love at one point, Tejano's throwing lariats. Dante Fox ducks the first one by doing a kip up. Like, he just falls back on his head and handsprings back up. But he cannot do that for the second time. He just gets turned inside out.
Also, who's watching, not just Killshot. Did you see him this episode, Sean?
Machete? No, that was season 1.
No, Fluffy, he's still there. God,
awesome.
How are you missing Fluffy?
I'm watching the wrestling.
He's integral to the last episode. They fist bumped the last episode.
That's not integral. Okay, fist bumping is, to call that integral is a real stretch of the word integral.
It powered up Dragon Azteca Jr. in order to do whatever he did in that match. Don't remember if he won or lost.
Yeah, real integral. I've said integral too many times, it has lost its meaning. I love this. It's Fox rolls Tejano back into the ring. That's when we see Killshot. And they're like, even outside, normally a place where Tejano has such an advantage. Because Killshot is so quick and so counter-focused, he has so many ways to hit you. You know, the moonsault he does off of the top to the outside. The only problem is Fox hits these counter moves, but he doesn't hit that follow-up, right? So it's like Tejano's he's too brick shit house. Like, you need 10 moves where some men just need 5. Mm-hmm. So he just keeps getting up. He keeps getting up.
I really loved, I'm guessing it was maybe the moonsault. I don't know what a moonsault is, but
it's a backflip, but you land on your tummy.
Okay, I think it was where Dante Fox did that to Tejano. It was just so clean. Like, it looked flawless. It's as if he had done it. He put his 10,000 hours into just that move, and it was, again, like, this fucking wrestling rules.
That's the other thing about watching Dante or AR Fox. If you're watching him today, I just want to make sure everyone can Google him as easily as possible. But Dante/AR Fox, all of his moves, to me, and maybe it's because he is such an experienced wrestler, but like, so many of his moves and those high flying moves look like that. The cutter he does. Like, he jumps off the top rope and hits that RKO diamond cutter. Looks like he's done it a million times. Mm-hmm. The way he flips over the top rope and lands on his feet on the other side of the apron. Like, I think that's the Spider-Man comparison. Because, like, there are a lot of high flyers and a lot of quick wrestlers. But I don't think anyone looks quite as chaotic but clean the way Fox does. Where it's like, oh, his limbs and his body can fly in any direction at any given moment, but he's going to be precise every time. He's so easy to watch wrestle, and it's so much fun.
If Dante Fox were 20 years younger, I would say live action Miles Morales would go to him.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Or if, like, it's a across the Spider-Verse style thing, and it's like, whoa, we're in a different universe where Miles Morales is old. And by old, we just mean, like, in his 30s.
If I knew how to read or write, I would write that comic starting today just so we could do that movie/TV show miniseries, whatever. Because Dante AR Fox as like an older Miles Morales, maybe it's just a time travel. Maybe it's just a cameo as a time travel sequence of like, Miles, I've learned things and now I will teach you. But first, here's a sweet, I'm going to say a 45-minute fight scene because I just want to watch him fight for 45 minutes as well. And because he is like, after Lucha Underground, he didn't get picked up by another company, but he made a name for himself I believe in the Northwest as a huge instructor. He's famously the guy that taught Darby Allin and a lot of those guys in that area. He continued to work with Swerve Strickland, Killshot. Like, even though he doesn't take over the industry the way Stryker and Vampiro sort of say he will, he does, because he continues on as an instructor and as one of the few healthy veterans in an industry, independent wrestling, that has a lot of unhealthy veterans. We talked about one last week. So, like, it's sort of like a little bit of a monkey's paw, where they're correct in calling him his style and his influence are going to reshape the industry forever, even though he doesn't become John Cena, which is great because it means he doesn't have to work with a McMahon, which we already talked about.
Yeah, it would be like if Walt Disney had, done the shorts that he did, but then he's like, all right, I'm going to start Cal Arts and I'm just going to teach animators how to animate. Like, the rest of it didn't work out. He didn't do Snow White, kind of. It wasn't the massive success that it is today. And he's just teaching animators how to animate. That would be still as impactful in animation as I'd say more impactful than like, hey, Mickey Mouse, it's the biggest thing that it's so big that it's kind of hard to still do public domain because it's the symbol of a company and all that bullshit.
Yeah, it's I forget where I read this, but it seems to be a growing problem for younger people talking about their favorite pieces of art, movies, TV shows, or whatever. Part of the conversation becomes that statistic that we were joking about earlier. But like, how much money did it make? That's pretty cool, but who knows that? And it's like, who fucking cares who else knows it? Yeah. What does it do for you? Like, if you're bringing something up just because it's commercially viable, this isn't a stockholders meeting. I don't give a fuck. You're boring.
Yeah.
Like, what does this mean? Like, how does this hit your heart? Or obviously, like, Don Bluth, I think is another interesting comparison to like where I don't want to call Killshot's Walt Disney necessarily, because he did go to WWE. And then when he was released, now he's in AEW, and he's doing phenomenal work in AEW. And eventually Fox came in, but he's not like positioned in the top guy role the way that Swerve currently is. But the things he went on to do, like, yeah, maybe Fievel isn't Mickey Mouse, but holy shit, can Fievel make me cry?
Yeah.
That's what counts, and that's what matters, and that's what carries on. No one, people, you see these people sit down with Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast, and they talk about your influences. Mark Maron asks, who are your guys? No one's being like, oh, this guy was really famous and made a lot of money and inspired me to make a lot of money. No, you talk about the ones, you talk about the ones who like really affect you. And I feel like Fox's style, which is a sort of continuation of like what AJ Styles, Amazing Red, and a lot of other wrestlers I should be naming from like that early 2000s independent scene, Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley certainly, and Chris Sabin. Like, it's just, Fox is continuing that style, but he's perfected it and again created it so precise. And I think even more importantly, just provided a healthy dude in a scene of unhealthy dudes.
Yeah.
Like, if he was a shit wrestler, but his only legacy was just like, damn, he was a good person in a scene full of bad people, and that's the influence that he carried on. Like, that would be enough. But on top of that, he's also amazing to watch, and he taught people that style as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Fox is really good, and we love him.
Yeah. A quick parallel would be like Comatose, my personal friend, but someone who influenced me as a rapper. He is a horrorcore rapper. That dude, he's not Insane Clown Posse. He's not Suicide Boys level of like famous, but the amount of people he has influenced, and I would say like what he is doing is a better influence in horrorcore than Insane Clown Posse is, because ICP does make good music. We've had a whole podcast on it, but they are very crass and forward and direct to the point where the people who are listening to that then are like, I'm influenced to rap like them, just do it poorly, because it's very easy to do that poorly. Opposed to Comatose, I think he is doing a very art-driven version of horrorcore, so it is very good for the scene and has influenced many people over, even though he can't say like, oh yeah, I pay all my bills from music, but that doesn't matter because the influence he had on thousands of people's lives, he could say like, yeah, you want to know what? I helped people not kill themselves, you know?
Which is huge. And also, it sounds like he is someone who, allegedly, referring to ICP, wasn't really sketchy about their contracts.
Oh, no.
And didn't, like, for instance, kind of, like, create nemesis out of a band like Twisted who were so close to them. Mm-hmm. And it's like from what it tells, like, that's something that hasn't been healed and probably will never be healed, the Twisted ICP relationship. That's something that, and Comatose doesn't have, like, even that influence. Even if he wasn't, like, artistically stretching the bounds, which he is, which is amazing and so important. But just being like, hey, I'm in this scene and I'm here to help you. I'm here. Rising tides rise all our ships. I want all of us to get on that ocean. Not a lot of people in any industry have that. So when you find those people who are also amazing, who like people look up to, and then they get to know them. They look up to them as an artist, and then they get to know you, and now I look up to you as a person. Mm-hmm. Those people are very rare, and they are treasures.
Yeah, guys, listen to Comatose, Komatose. If you want a nice starting out point, listen to I Madman from The Ugly, remixed by Marshland Monster. That's me.
Hell yeah. The end of this match. Tejano blocks the Fox catcher, Fox's finisher, Tilt-A-Whirl backbreaker for another 2 count. There are a lot of 2 counts in this match again, very back and forth. Famous B, however, gets a little ahead of the ref. B counts the 3 himself and calls Tay-Tay, he calls him Tay-Tay, the winner on the mic. He gets into the ring, he raises Tejano's arm, only for Fox to roll up Tay-Tay and score the 3 himself. After the match, one fan is super pissed as Famous B looks embarrassed to call Fox the winner. He's like, I guess, yeah, Dante Fox is the winner. Killshot walks away. Tejano grips up B from the back. He's about to murder this bastard when Dario comes out of the office. Famous B is already the backup ring announcer, so we need him tonight. But next week, Tejano versus Famous B. B hates this. He does not want this fight at all. So Dario sweetens the deal. Yeah. If somehow, some way, Famous B wins, Dario will turn Tejano's contract over to him.
Woo!
Hey, B doesn't mind. Tejano accepts and gives B a little slap before making his way to the back.
The only way Tejano's losing is if, like, an earthquake happens or, I guess, beautiful Brenda kind of, like, shows some calf. You know, she pulls up her dress and says, ooh, my calf, my shins.
Yeah, Tejano famously is a member of Victorian England, so he is scandalized in the horniest way possible. I don't think Famous B is likely to win. Am I rooting for him? Kinda.
I
kind of want to see Tejano just be like, I have to put up with this guy. Ay.
Sean loves messy contract disputes.
Mm-hmm. It's my favorite. It's my favorite General Hospital ongoing trope are messy contract disputes between the actors. Has nothing to do with what's going on screen.
Yeah.
We go to Dario's office. Son of Havoc places his medallion into the Gift of the Gods title belt. This is part of the ritual for the Gift of the Gods title match. If you have one of the 7 medallions, you place that into the title belt. That puts you into this 7-way match. He vows, Son of Havoc, vows to win, make Ultima Lucha Tres the main event a 3-way. Dario just says good luck as Havoc turns to leave and comes face to face with the abyssal Pentagon Dark.
PD Jr.
There you go. He places the last medallion in the belt, making the match official. And Penta almost gets pious in his call for victory and his promise to break everyone's arms. He leaves, and Dario makes a phone call for extra medics in tonight's main event, and he is very excited about that.
It was really cute seeing Pentagon's unpainted nose kind of poke out of his mask a little.
Penta's a cutie. He's a murderer and a skeleton ninja, but he's a cutie. We have another match tonight, the tag match. Mariposa and Marty the Moth Martinez versus Phoenix and ring announcer, wrestling for the first time, Melissa Santos.
And I'll be honest, what does Stryker have against yellow lunchboxes, okay? Like why does he hate that yellow lunchbox of freaking Marty the Moth so much?
And I don't know, it might be all yellow lunchboxes. but I think it has been informed by the behavior of Marty the Moth Martinez and that yellow lunchbox. We have seen Marty bring that lunchbox to ring a couple times now, and it always has a screwdriver or a hand. It very rarely contains just a lunch. One time there was a sandwich in there, but most of the time it's some sort of nefarious weaponry to be used against his opponent.
The writing on it that says Aztec Pride is black, I believe. So it might be that Stryker plays a lot of Minecraft and he's used to those square bees in there and he's like, no!
It might be a Minecraft thing as well. It might be a Minecraft thing. Also, if we don't see a Minecraft bee at some point emerge from the lunchbox in season 4, we're leaving money on the table. Phoenix and Mariposa start the match out. There's a lockup. Mariposa actually really on top. It's always nice to see Mariposa on top because they don't get to push her enough. I know I've gone into this before, but
that's one of my notes. She's underutilized because she fucking rocks in this.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this before. Like, I would make an allegation that there have been certain wrestlers within the temple that have feuded with her and didn't really give her a lot. But she's amazing. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
She gets cocky in the wrist lock when Phoenix can't really escape. But she gets back into it, just classic body slam. Fundamentals, violence, and body slams, baby.
I want to go to before the bell rang just for a quick thing.
Please.
Melissa is fighting excitement from everyone cheering her name. She's fighting that to be like, I need to stay in kayfabe right now. I need to be like this. I need to be intense. But you see a little smile constantly forming like, holy shit, yeah, people are loving this.
People are like, I'm happy for her. And it's such a weird. There is a thing with I came to a wrestling show and I have to watch a not wrestler wrestle. I could see a paranoia in a performer developing. But she is a beloved character and a great ring announcer. So and the Lucha Underground at this point has become such a hot ticket. People know Lucha Underground. They know who Melissa Santos is, and they know this story. This story of Marty the Moth Martinez stalking and harassing the ring announcer Melissa Santos. Phoenix and her budding relationship with Phoenix and how he's had to protect her. Now she's getting in the ring herself. She's standing up. She's learning to fight for herself. This is a big moment for her character. People are really jazzed to see her.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
And no fault on her. There's been times when I'm performing live and people chant back the stuff that should be chanted back. And I'm so excited that I have to turn around because I'm like, oh, James, don't cry right now. You finally did it. At the Donut Hole, it was this small venue, all ages. Oh, is it still around? No, because Muskegon hates all ages venues. And it just rocked so hard. And everyone, it's crazy how these fuckers aren't crying is that part of wrestling school? Wrestlers out there, do they teach you hey, people might be chanting your name. You could end up in Madison Square Garden with every single person it's just chanting your name. You want to cry, but you got to push that down until after the match. Then, you get to cry it out in probably, if it's WWE, they don't want that. So you go to, if they have a feeding room, for breastfeeding, you go in there and you can cry with the mothers pumping.
That's so misogynistic. You can cry with all the mothers and women who are crying milk out of their titties. Why don't you go cry with the milk titty crier?
We're all going to do it. We're all going to cry, but you have to be in that room.
Yeah, I like to think that's one of the differences. I would have no idea of knowing this. But when Fox was training and teaching people how to wrestle, one of the cool things about Fox and why it made him so positive and not toxic was he was and if you cry, you know what? That's part of it. Don't let it interfere with the performance, but don't be afraid to be yourself. That's what people came to see. Again, I have no way of proving this.
But then he's also teaching hey, yes, and if your opponent starts crying,
play into
feed that into the story. Don't be a dick about it unless your character is a dick. You can start being oh, shouldn't you be in the feeding rooms right now?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you want to suck my titty while you cry?
Bell rings. So Mariposa and Phoenix. Eventually, Phoenix starts getting the upper hand, and Mariposa has to tag out. to Marty. Marty and Phoenix continue. Phoenix continues that upper hand for a while. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's basically 2-on-1. He does not want to necessarily tag in Melissa. Mm-hmm. In fact, at some point, Melissa does tag herself in, and Phoenix is like, whoa, this is a tag match. This is literally your first day. These two are crazy. And we will say it again and again. You don't fight crazy. Crazy isn't trying to win a match. Crazy is trying to kill you.
Yeah.
So like, especially this isn't your first match. We're going to be, so he tags himself back and he's kind of like trying to talk her down. And that's when Marty jumps Phoenix from behind. Marty and Mariposa get the advantage. And now Phoenix has to tag out. He is getting dog walked. He has to tag to Melissa. I love it. And especially, oh my gosh, yeah, this is the second kiss of the night. As Mariposa's dog walk, she gets tagged in, she's beating up Phoenix. She looks over to Melissa, she blows her a kiss before smooching her bird boyfriend, right on the mouth.
Oh yeah.
That's fucked up. That's some General Hospital fucked uppery. It's like, hey, I got your boyfriend in a headlock kiss. What the fuck? Disgusting. Eventually, Phoenix escapes. The crowd chanting Animo wakes him up, which I love. I love that that's how they timed it. Tags in Melissa, who is going off. It's a lot of double team offense. Uh-huh. Like, I don't think she's not like, it's her and Phoenix utilizing each other to just clear the fucking ring. And it is working. Double super kicks. There's this assisted wheelbarrow spot. It's like, so like Phoenix picks her up by the legs as that wraps around his waist. He drops her once. She fist drops him. Then he drops her again with a leg drop. She sort of forgets to cover, or she doesn't realize she's covering. And then she's like, oh shit, right, wrestling. Which is like, I think a totally reasonable move. Uh-huh. Whether that was planned like that or not, I love it. I love that moment of like, oh, I'm doing it. Holy shit. Uh-huh. This is working. They kick out. They go for another one. Phoenix gets tripped up on the top rope. And this is where things get real bad because Mariposa takes out some rope, ties Phoenix's hands to the bottom of the ring post, like around the corner. So he is trapped.
Wait, we didn't discuss the third kiss of the night, the hottest kiss of the night.
Drop it in real quick because we're already at an hour.
Marty's on the ground. They laid him out. Him and Phoenix and Melissa do. And then, they lay out Mariposa. Siblings are kissing Jennies, baby. They finally did it. These two siblings are kissing in an oral fashion.
Yes, the drop toe hold. Mariposa is tripped headfirst into Marty's crotch. The inadvertent headbutt.
Aye.
Some real classic goofs. Like when you think of wrestling goofs, if you're thinking of just good old fashioned slapstick comedy in the wrestling ring and you don't consider drop toe holding your opponent's head into their crotch for a headbutt to the groin, you gotta wake up and maybe watch a couple of Marx Brothers movies there, Chachi. That sucked. I hated it. Ugh.
I do that stuff. You say, babe, you know?
I know though. Yeah, we're so hot. We should pivot and become the Bill Maher and Dennis Miller of whatever this is.
Wait, did Bill Maher say tchotchke?
I think that's another Dennis Miller thing, but they're the same. I don't know. I don't know them well enough to differentiate them.
No, I think one is worse than the other, as a person.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're both pretty bad. I think Bill Maher is like evil, but like Dennis Miller is not good.
Oh, I would reverse those.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm following Mike Myzak, who's a great Twitch follow. Does something called Bill Maher Bingo, where he's watching modern Bill Maher episodes of whatever that podcast he does is. And you get a bingo card that's randomly generated, and it's all just terrible things that get brought up in like every episode.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. They're bad men. That's all we need to know. But yeah, jumping back forward, Phoenix is tied up by his hands. His hands are bound to the corner as Marty stalks Melissa, who backs up into Mariposa. She is cornered. She is surrounded. She is defeated. Double team pedigree puts her away. Marty and Mariposa win the match. And thank fucking God, Marty goes into that lunchbox that Matt Stryker has cause to be concerned about because he pulls out a pair of scissors. Scissors is not lunch. Scissors is a weapon, which Marty intends to use against Melissa. Thankfully, Phoenix sees this and he's like, okay, fuck, and he just breaks out of the rope. He chases them off, but the message has been sent. Mariposa and Marty can and have gotten to Melissa. And Phoenix needs to fucking wake the fuck up at Ultima Lucha Trace because he might lose Melissa, his mask, his entire everything to these, pardon my French, fucking psychos.
Yeah, and what's his Stryker, I believe, was like, well, what do you expect? You know, they're pros and she's not. And I'm like, they're not they cheated. They cheated to win. They realized they were going to lose to a ring announcer, so they had to cheat. They're not professionals. They're ding-dang cheaters.
They're professional cheaters. I'll give them... I disagree with their dastardly tactics, but I will give them... They're professional cheaters.
Okay.
They have a contract for cheating. I'm sure that's because that's what Dario loves this shit. We've got one more match tonight. The 7-way Gift of the Gods title match. Beautiful tradition. A little surprised we're not getting it at Ultima Lucha, but it makes a lot of sense with how the match kind of ends.
Yeah. I mean, I was fine with this not being at Ultima Lucha because it sets up... One of these individuals could be like, hey, I will be challenging at Ultima Lucha to to mix things up even more.
Yeah. I will be the one to make sure Puma never gets to touch that title again before we send him over to WWE. Before Melissa Santos, the undercover mole for the WWE, whisks away Prince Puma. I'm just starting rumors. I don't know. I got a lot of spare time on my hands. 7-way Gift of the Gods title match. It's Paul London versus Mala Suerte versus Saltador versus Cortez Castro versus Drago with Cobra Moon versus Son of Havoc versus Pentagon Dark. Woo! I love like Famous B is he's such a little shit. He's not a good person. He's not a good ring announcer. The character, of course.
Yeah.
Because he rolls his eyes as he announces Pentagon Dark, the only participant to get his own music.
But I loved how when Son of Havoc, second to last to come out, people are chanting his name. And it's slightly on par, maybe a little less than when Pentagon comes out, but that's still a huge deal. Like, this dude from the indie scene is getting these huge chants just usually in like North America, but Pentagon Dark's been everywhere. Of course he's going to get these huge chants. I love the dude from Backyard Wrestling. The video game is getting huge chants. And yes, he deserves them. Fucking M-Dog 20, Matt Cross, he rules.
100%. That's actually, I think that might be a note towards the end, because Pentagon is the most over in terms of like volume, it seems, by far. Every week, not just this week, like every week, Pentagon is consistently the most over act. And to see him like really get put up into it, it's one of the interesting things about wrestling. And I'll say like any art form that has like immediate feedback, live music, stand up, that you get those moments of like, oh, this is the put up or shut up, where we really get to see like, yeah, Pentagon's probably the most overact. Son of Havoc is not far behind. Like, people have been continuously just like, I've said it before about him. It feels like watching him and watching the audience react to him. People are waiting for him. They're like, come on, this is his moment. We've been waiting for this guy. And both of them, because Penta hasn't had the Lucha Underground title yet either. So these are two just guys that people are like, come on, we've been waiting since season 1 for these guys.
Yeah. Real quick, another event that has instant feedback from the audience is out in the open oral on an airplane.
Great. We're great.
You can just transition, like you don't need, you saying great that many times is taking up time.
I'm just glad you didn't say going in raw, because that's already a podcast. Bell rings, chaos ensues. I love, eventually the belt match sort of clears out. Penta and Havoc are the ones who clear the ring. However, Saltador pulls an Akuma secret boss ending to Havoc's M. Bison and just sort of sneaks in and throws him out of the ring. That's a very specific reference that I hope at least one person gets.
I don't get it.
Because it was, when you beat Street Fighter 2, I think it's with Ryu using a certain amount of time. Like the way you unlock Akuma. Are you familiar with you've never heard of
I know the characters, but I don't know this.
Then why are you shaking your head no, making me feel like a crazy person?
I'm shaking my head like, I don't know how you would do it. I've never beaten Street Fighter 2. You think I'm that good at that? I was a Tekken guy.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you, because it's I find it a very cinematic moment in video games.
Okay.
It's a very cool, and something we don't, one of those moments we don't get anymore because we don't have like unlocks like this. You don't unlock characters like this anymore. where you beat, I believe it's you use Ryu, you beat the game in a certain amount of time, like under a certain amount of time, and normally the final boss is M. Bison. But what happens is you get, they go to that ready, fight screen, and all of a sudden Akuma just sweeps in and the screen goes dark and you hear a lot of violence and M. Bison is down. And instead of fighting the main villain of the series, you fight the secret villain of the series, Akuma. And it's such a cool way to introduce a character. And it's sort of how Saltador introduces himself in this match. Of like, oh shit, it's Penta and Havoc. These are our two guys. Like, what the fuck is this weird bastard doing? Oh shit, Saltador, let's go.
Why are you speaking in just say you fight a bear at the end of Street Fighter 2?
Wait, what? Oh, you're referring to Kuma from Tekken.
No, it's Kuma.
I'm worried about my references being too esoteric.
No. This Kuma in Japanese just means bear. That's what they say. So you were saying a Kuma. So I was like, why don't you just say a bear?
You listened to all that just to shit on my Buffalo dialect? Wow.
No, you were saying a Kuma, and then which could also be a bear. But not like the Bears.
That's the Bears. You're a piece of shit. How about that? How's that for a secret character? A piece of shit.
Can I say my favorite move from this?
Please do.
I believe it was Saltador. He is standing on Pentagon Dark's back. And then somehow does like this, I think it's an Inzaguri head scissors. Is that what it is? I don't know how it was done, but it was done.
It was beautiful, the way he run. And he's running too. He runs, jumps off of Penta's back. And it's right at this moment after he throws Havoc out of the ring and is like, by the way, I'm in this match, Secret Fighter style. And he just launches off his back, head scissors, takes him down. It's so fucking cool. Saltador is great. I mean, the Rabbit Tribe, baby. What else? They're beautiful. We're running a little time, so are you okay with sort of like speeding through stuff?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Do you have any notes you really want to hit? Because this is a match that a lot happens.
There's a jump backwards. I think it was Paul London.
I love that moment. Real quick?
You do it.
It's because, and again, a lot of this, because it's 7 men, it's people constantly coming into the ring, clearing each other out, getting tossed out. And there's just like this string, like at some point, like everyone sort of gets in, does something, and they get out. And at this point, it's Drago is holding the middle of the ring. And Drago is a very intimidating figure. So he's holding the middle of the ring. He's waiting for the next person to come in. He sees Paul London get up. He's like, oh, you want to fight? And Paul's like, nah, I only got into the ring to throw myself into a pile of people. It's...
I thought it was Pentagon Dark running after him, and instead of attacking Pentagon, he just says nope, and then as Pentagon's punching at him, he just jumps backwards and lands in a pile of people.
Excuse me, you are correct. It was Pentagon. But I just love that classic misdirection, which really a lot of people can get away with, but with Paul's character and with the Rabbit's character, for that misdirection to be such a key aspect of their offense. And it works. Like, he does backflip, like backdrop his way into a pile of bodies and takes them all out. He does damage, but it's such in such a silly, unforeseen way. It's great.
And also on Saltador and Paul, Saltador is getting pinned, I forget by who, and then Paul comes in to break the pin. Like, of course you don't want your friend to get pinned. Also, like, why not just like one of the Rabbit Tribe should have been like, hey, you play security, well, the two of us pin each other and then we win. That would have been the funny thing to do. Or another funny thing, Paul should have, he breaks up the pin, and instead of starting to attack the person who was pinning Saltador, it would have been funny in drug-induced confusion. He starts attacking Saltador, and they're like, wait, no, shit! And then they, like, as a team, attack the other person as the other person's like, what is going on?
Yeah, I do want to give them, I almost want to give them the Shaggy doubt. Where, you specifically talk about how one of the cool aspects of Shaggy Rogers from Scooby-Doo, like, yeah, you could write him as a druggie, but the more interesting thing is he's not on drugs. That's just how he is.
Yeah, he's on the spectrum.
And I kind of feel that way about the Rabbit Tribe. I feel that way with I think 90% of the time when certain characters are like, oh, this guy's clearly on drugs. It's so much more interesting if it's maybe, but not like that, or no, they're just like that. And I kind of like, the other thing is like, if you did do the, you lay down and we'll pin you, all of a sudden you kind of have a clear leader. And I like Paul London maybe, but the mouthpiece and the face of the group, but I like that there doesn't really feel to be a leader. They just feel like three friends in it for each other.
Yeah.
And the most, you hate to say it, but the most honorable way to approach a match like this is to just go all in, you know?
Whoa, like DC Comics, go all in.
Yeah, like when you're going balls deep on Monday Night Raw. All in. That's pissing off some AEW fans out there, and I'm happy to do it. Do you have more notes, or are you ready to get
My next note is the end of just saying, hell yeah, the producers know exactly what we want.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Oh, also, sorry, speaking of producers and production, something I wanted to bring up from the Mariposa Phoenix, the tag match from earlier, is the way they capture a moonsault out of the ring. The camera is perfectly under Phoenix, so he flips over the camera from the inside to the outside.
Oh, yeah.
And again, just the way... This is what happens when you have a production company putting together a wrestling show for television. It matches the medium, and it's fucking gorgeous. But this end also is fucking production.
Yeah. Go into it, baby.
Penta. It is now Penta with Paul and Saltador. They get a moment, Saltador and Paul with pelvic hip thrust chest chops into the corner. However, Penta with some tricky escapes sends Saltador's dropkick into Paul's ass, which is not a metaphor, it is directly into his buttocks. Then belly-to-belly suplexes Saltador onto Paul. Package pile drive to Saltador. That's his finish. This would be a great time to pin Saltador. But Penta is, he doesn't want to just pin, he wants to win decisively. So Saltador is taken out. Picks up Paul London. Another package pile driver to Paul London. However, while this is happening, Son of Havoc spots his opportunity. Climbs to the top rope. Shooting star press onto Saltador. Pins. While Penta is pinning Paul London, the ref comes in. Simultaneous 1, 2, 3. Double pinfall? Woo! The fuck? Hell yeah. But also, the fuck? Dario comes out to address this confusion, because while both of you, Son of Havoc and Pentagon Dark, have earned a victory, there can only be one Gift of the Gods champion.
Highlander style.
Exactly. So, at Ultima Lucha Tres, Pentagon Dark versus Son of Havoc in a Gift of the Gods ladder match. Let's fucking go. That's gonna be terrifying in the most brutal, cool way possible. And we get a post-credits scene. Dario gets into the back of a limousine, having retrieved the gauntlet, but is visibly worried. And he gets interrupted by the other entity in the back of the limo, Agent Godfrey. I'm sorry, I forgot his last name, but it's the sort of the government agent being played by comedian Godfrey. And he tells Dario that, yeah, you should be worried. You told us Cage would be the perfect man for this job.
Yeah.
Through Flop Sweat, Dario explains that what we all know, Cage isn't a man, he's a machine.
Oh, well, he says maybe he really is a machine, and it's so funny.
Yeah. It's like, maybe he's not a man. I have the exact wording. I'm not so sure he is a man. Maybe he really is a machine, and that's why he's not been so easily possessed, which is a really nice bit of tidbit. We've been seeing Cage get what we thought looks possessed, but apparently is not nearly enough. Not what they've been looking for. The people who gave him this gauntlet. He's been too Cage about it.
Okay, all right, coming with the word play.
So Dario's not sure, so he has a plan. Jeremiah Crane and Mil Muertes want the gauntlet as well. Dario doesn't seem to know why. We know why. It's for Katrina, who has a deal with Captain Vasquez. But all Dario knows is that all three of these men, for whatever reasons, want the gauntlet, so let's give it to them. Any three would be a worthy cause to their friend, the third unseen entity in the back of this limo, which so at Ultima Lucha Tres, Dario proposes a three-way match between Mil, Crane, and Cage for the gauntlet. The agent questions if he wins the gauntlet, like what will happen, and Dario's like, we don't know he can't be possessed, but if I'm correct and he cannot be possessed, I personally invite you, and this, again, they looked at that third entity, this mysterious figure in the back of the limo with them. Dario personally invites them to the temple to destroy Cage themselves. And then he refers to him as my lord. This lord, we don't see, he doesn't say anything, we just see them light a cigar. And everyone seems to kind of agree that that's the plan. Three-way for the gauntlet, Cage, Mill, and Crane. If Cage is too machine-like and unpossessable, my lord is coming to the temple to end the machine.
Which...
Whoo!
He goes to TNA, so maybe Cage will be... Oh, he doesn't?
He's coming from TNA. He was famously not signed by TNA.
Oh, okay.
TNA dropped the ball big time.
All right, then never mind. I thought he leaves to go to TNA. All right, then you want to know what? It's anyone's ball game, brother. And this was another time I was like, they fucking know. The producers knew what we wanted. This three-way match. Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot, dude. And it's such a, on paper with like no storyline, this match would be hot. Like Jeremiah Crane, Mil Muertes, Cage, that's a cool fucking match. I'm so invested in the gauntlet. There is so much, at this point, probably the most lore-riddled piece of the temple is what are they doing with this gauntlet? What god are they trying to rise? Like, who is this third guy chomping on cigars that is Dario's lord in the back of this limousine? We have so many questions, and the answers are tantalizing close as we round the corner to Ultima Lucha Tres. And you can round the corner down the street to see me on twitch.tv/Goose Von Kaiser, where I'm going to be having a good time with video games and talking shit.
Woo! Hey guys, the following weeks will be watch-alongs of Ultima Lucha like we normally do. So that's 4 weeks in a row we're doing this, baby. I'm excited.
Go.
Sean's excited. Yeah. It'll be great. Maybe like last year or last season, Nicole will shit in on one. I don't know. But
hell yeah.
Head over to patreon.com/MLM pod, where for $5 a month, you get exclusive content every single Friday. This Friday will be Engaged with Nicolas Cage, discussing like the dying light or something. He's a CIA agent with a terminal illness, but he's got one last guy he thought he could never get, but he's got to get him before he dies. So check that out. It's going to be god-awful. We know that for sure because we're in that period of Cage where it's post his like national treasure stuff, but pre his current renaissance of but 2 movies ago was Joe, and then the one before that was Frozen Ground, which are some of his greatest movies. So check those out. But $10 patrons get all that plus monthly bonus exclusive content in the form of Straight to Patreon, which Sean has been on so much, and his roommate. He's living in her house right now, Torchy Berry, a.k.a. Pearl.
We did not talk about that in the podcast. Nobody knows what you're talking about. I'm currently dog sitting and recording at an off-site
your house,
location.
Where you live, because you're roommates.
I don't think this bit is funny. I think you guys just enjoy me being mentally tortured. I don't like this.
I've never told you this. I just never put it in. One of the times Torchy was on Mostly Speakin Sentai, she recorded a thing saying like, hey, Sean, what's up? And wanted me to put that in an episode of Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, no, I know. You all are in on this. This is gaslighting. I don't think this is a funny bit. I think you guys are just gaslighting me.
$10 patrons also get shout outs in every single free feed podcast. So let's begin with those, starting with Steve F, Alex Z, The Waz, Orion, my Bickle brother in common law, Joshua, Jake, Steve Barnes, a sweet child of time, and Intro Void, my mother, Lil Corey's BFF, and now former roommate Shane from twitch.tv/Core Winning. It's Corwin, as well as This Movie's Gay. Go listen to that podcast. From the Rom Complex, as well as Formulaic, a podcast and script writing. It's twitch.tv/R2Shelby2, who was on The Citizens of Townsville Z with Sam last week. One of the funniest episodes of that show. Sean, I'll send you a link. And then finally, from Speed Radio, Sonic the Podcast. No, Sonic the Hedgehog podcast. You want to know? It's Sonic the Podcast Hedgehog.
Yeah.
It's Tay, a.k.a. City D. I've been James.
And I've been Sean, and this has been Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. Purple Prancer forever. Be like Bob.
Bye. Oh, yeah.